Hi, I'm Sunny J. And you're ready to go to college or you need some new skills? Let's think about it. Let's break it down. Let's look at what makes sense for you. If you're working already and you're in the field you want to be and you're looking for a promotion, going back to school, maybe it's getting a specific certification or a higher degree, makes sense, right? You know what it's going to take to get you there. If you're just coming out of high school and you're like, I need a skill set, I want to get a great job, and I don't know what I really want to do, a lot of people will say, well, go to a junior college or a community college, get your prereqs out the way, take some more English and math and science, and hopefully in that 2 years you'll figure out what it is you want to do. That seems really easy. However, remember, you just did 12 years of English, math, science, and history. Are you really ready to do another 2 years of English, science, math, and history? Doing things that maybe you don't really like, because the key piece, you still got to get through it to be able to move ahead. So you might need to take a second or two or three or four or however long and think about what is it you really want to do. If you say, oh, okay, I like music. Okay, is that something you see yourself doing as a living? Or is a passion? Is it something you do on the side, but that's not necessarily a career for you? Then going to school for music right now might not be the way to go. That's a passion, that's a hobby. If that is what you see, then look at a school that is their specialty, that you really can get into, start doing the things that you really like to do. It's a career path, right? So there's all kinds of schools. There's career schools, career colleges, where you can go and learn specific training. A lot of times, some of the places you will have to take some general studies, but you're doing that at the same time that you're learning some career skills. So it's not all English, math, science, and history. It's some of that mixed in with something that you really want to do. So that's like more of your career schools. Career training schools, however, don't have English, math, science, and history. You're learning specific skill sets. So if you say, I want to be a medical assistant or a dental assistant or things like that, then you don't have to necessarily do English, math, science, and history. You can go and take specific skill sets, and that's career training, where you would just learn the things needed to be a medical assistant or the things learned to be a dental assistant or a pharmacy tech or whatever. And those programs are like your 6 to 9 month programs, right? And now you get out of school and you have a specific skill set that you can now work in that field. Good part about that is now you're employable. So now you're working. Now you can really think long term, because that might be a short-term goal. Short-term goal should be, I need to be employed. I need to get in a field that has opportunities that will allow me to, stay employed no matter where I go or where I live, right? Medical is always going to be around. Now, keep in mind, some of them have certifications that are specific to certain states. So you need to know that in advance. If you're thinking about moving from the area that you live in, that's also something to consider. If you're going to go into, say, career training, as far as certifications, knowing, can I use that certification into the area that I'm going to move into? Or will I have to do more training there? There are a lot of specifics in those kinds of things. But these are the things you need to know before you even start a program, is what is it you're wanting to get out of it? So if you like the area that you live in and you're not looking to move out of that area, then you need to go to school for things that are, readily employable in that area. Otherwise, you're learning skill sets that's going to really require you to move into a different area where there are the opportunities to use that skill set, right? So those are things you have to think about. You really got to seriously tell yourself, like, how long do I see myself going to school? If what you're wanting to do is going to take you 8 years of schooling, and that is not something you can see yourself doing at this point, is there a way to break it down into little pieces? Say you want to become a pharmacist. Okay, maybe you're not ready to bite off that long piece right now, but you could go to school, become a pharmacy tech, start working in the field, working in a pharmacy with a pharmacist. One, you see if you really like it that much to put in that time. Also, there are programs that will pay for you, to go to school to become a pharmacist, and your commitment is that you will work with them for a certain period of time. But guess what? Now you're out of school, they paid for it, and you already have a job, right? So you can break it down. Think short term, mid-term, long term. But it all comes down to realistically, what do you see yourself actually doing? Because school is work. It's not easy. If you had a hard time in high school, realistically, are you willing and ready to make the commitment to take, those same kinds of classes? Because now you have to pass them to move forward, right? And your GPA has a lot to do with the types of programs you're going to be able to get into. Some of them require a certain GPA to be able to move up to the next level, like nursing. If you were taking prereqs and now you want to go into the nursing program, your GPA has to be a certain amount, and you also have to, score high enough to get into the nursing program, right? So there are still things you have to do. You have to realize, am I committed enough to do 6 weeks, 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years? What am I willing to do right now? Because that's where you are right now. What am I willing to do right now? The number one thing is, if you're not employed, is to go into a field that's going to keep you employed, and maybe do something short that will get you into it quickly. Now you're employable, right? Now you have a skill that will keep you employed. Next step, now that I'm there, can I move on to a higher level? And at what point am I ready to go back to school to go to the higher level? You can take things in pieces. Everything can't be done that way. But there are a lot of fields that can be. And a lot of people do that. They take a little piece, then another little piece, and they keep moving up and moving up and moving up. And then they get there. Because the problem with, say you set out to do something that's going to take you 8 years. Okay, 8 years. And you're thinking long term, what I'm looking at is maybe the money they make. But you got to get there first, right? So look at where you are right now. If you're not working and you have no skills, you need to think, I need to get some skills right now. What can I do that gives me a skill set right now? 6 weeks, 6 months, 9 months, something like that, that allows you to be employable. Because once you have security, you're less stressed. Now you can take a little bit more time to do the longer program, and you're not so much worried about where am I going to work, I'm not making enough money, I hate my job, all those things, right? So sometimes we just gotta bite it a little bit at a time and not put so much pressure on ourselves, because we're all not meant to jump right out and go to college. And right now, with so much being online, that's tough for a lot of people. Online is not necessarily easy. Some people think it might be easier because they feel like maybe you can have an open book test and the people can't see you. That's not necessarily true, because most of them are still timed. And you don't have time to be looking up things and all of that. If you don't know the material, even where to look, that's going to be a problem. But it can be done. It takes commitment. But you have to be the one to say, I am committed. I will do it. I am going to do it. I will succeed. And you can. You definitely can. It's all within you. It's in your mind, your heart. Nobody can make you do it. No one can say, well, you got to sit down here and you've got to learn this. No one's going to do that. You have to make that commitment and say, it's because I'm going to do it because it's what I want. I want what's at the end of this tunnel. Therefore, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to study. I'm going to, if it means I can't hang out on the weekends or I can't watch as much TV or those things. You have to find the time in your life. You have to set aside time specifically for study, specifically time to do the assignments that need to be done. And that's very easy. We all have the same amount of hours in a day. It's how you use those hours. Use them to make a better you. Because when you're the best you that you can be, you're going to be so much more happier. You're going to be much more benefit and blessings to others that are around you. And you can also motivate others that you did it, so can they, right? I did online. I know it's not easy, but I did it. Why? Because I made a commitment to me. I made a commitment to me that I was going to do it and I was going to get it done. So can you. But what are you going to do? What do you need right now? Is it just a skill real quick to get you employed? Do a 6-week class. Do a 6-month class. Do a 9-month class. Do something that definitely inside of a year, you have a new skill. You are employable. You now have security. You can now start creating somewhat of a lifestyle because you know with the skill set that I have, I should make this much money every week. Therefore, you can start creating a lifestyle which says, okay, I want to move out my parents' house, or I want to move out of this relationship, or whatever it is. I now know what kind of money I have. I have security. Now that you have that, you can go to the next level. But first and foremost, everyone needs security. You need to know you can take care of you. That alone means everything. Can you take care of you? Because until you can take care of you, you can't be the best you can be. You know why? Because other people are telling you what you need to do. They're telling you what they need you to do, even for them, because of the fact they're taking care of you. Once you have your own security, now you taking care of you, you can decide who you are, who do you want to be, what's your next step, and make that commitment for yourself. So I'm looking forward to talking to you more about that. If you have more questions, reach out to me. I'd love to answer them. I've been in the education system for a long time, so we can talk about all types of schools and career fields and things like that. But the most important thing is decide the commitment you're willing to make to you. I'm Sunny J. Talk to you soon.